So what does a coin collector do when he's home recuperating from surgery? Hey, he puts together a typeset album. I'm going to take out these coins and that I rummaged through my coin collection and found and try to fill up this typeset album. So stick with me as we go through this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hello, silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for silver and coin collecting, education, acquisition, and entertainment. Hey, today, hopefully a little bit of education for you. And feel free, if you know more than I do, please leave a comment and educate me and the rest of my viewers as well. I'm really looking forward to filling this baby up. It's kind of like an entry-level U.S. type coins album here, and as you can see, it is pretty empty except for the first few coins here. You've got an Indian penny from 1907, Liberty Head, and a Buffalo nickel. And so we're going to do our best to fill in the rest with what I was able to kind of peruse through my coin collection and find. We're going to do that right after the splash. I got this album from Sherry, my LCS owner, a while back, and I just kind of put it back in my closet thinking, oh, someday I'll get to it, someday I'll get to it. And, you know, here I am recuperating after surgery. And, you know, hey, I'm considering this kind of like therapy for me. As far as like the quality of the album, I would say this is as basic as it gets. As I watched some other videos on typesets, I did have album envy. I saw some other albums that were a lot nicer than this little starter album, but I'm going to get started with this. And hey, if you guys have any suggestions as to upgrades, I was thinking the Dansko would be a good quality album. I have another Dansko album or two that, of course, is very good quality. But let's start with this one from Littleton. And I think this might be something where she bought a collection. I think a lot of coin shops frequently do this, where they buy a coin collection. It comes with an album. It's full. It's partially full. And they just kind of pick and choose what they want. They cherry pick all the best coins out of it, sell those individually, and I have albums sitting around their coin shop. So if you want to get an album, I would definitely check with your LCS and see if you can get a bargain on one, especially if you don't mind one that was slightly used. So as you saw, I kind of dumped out those coins out of that little box there. And so let me start here. This is a 76 Eisenhower. And let's see, here it is, the Bicentennial Eisenhower. Now, I love this one. It's got the Liberty Bell and it's got the moon. The one thing I will say about this album is it only includes an opportunity to see the obverse of each coin. And so, of course, that reverse is cool. And here I am tucking it in to this album, at least for the time being. And maybe it'll make its way to a nicer album. I'm not wearing gloves at this point. I'm not handling anything that, I mean, this thing was circulated and probably passed through hundreds of hands, maybe thousands of hands, just like this Morgan dollar. Here is an 1885. That goes in the Morgan spot right there. And here, let me show you a little better. As far as the quality, basically, this is one of my stacking Morgans. I pulled it out of my stacking tube, and it's an 1885, and there she goes. On to the piece dollar. Same thing. I have got a tube of piece dollars for stacking, and I also thought, well, let me just kind of get on the board and find an example of each of these coins, and then eventually I will start upgrading and putting nicer coins in each of these slots. All right, here is a Barber $50, pretty slicked out from 1908. And boy, I love that eagle design there. With the olive branch, you've got the arrows. Just what's not to like about this one, except that it's slicked out. Like I said, as I get more serious, I will be upgrading. Okay, what's next? We have a 1964 Kennedy half. Let's see. Oh, Kennedy half, and it even denotes their silver. This qualifies last year of the silver, or the 90% silver in the Kennedy halves there. And since we're talking halves, how about this Walker? 1942. We'll put her up there. Walking Liberty right there. And there's something just kind of cathartic, relaxing, enjoyable about squeezing that coin right into that hole there. Let's see what we have here. We have another Kennedy, and this is the old bicentennial, silver clad. Oh, here it is. Bicentennial, 1976. And there we go. I was just a little guy when that one was circulating. Now, we might as well stick on the Kennedys. This is a 1965. This is 40% silver. I don't go out, actively looking for them. I know a lot of guys like their 40%ers. This one goes in this spot right here that says Kennedy Silver Clad. So it's kind of the combo, 40% silver and 60% clad. And then the next one is the Copper Nickel Clad. And this is a 1971 here. Now there's a hole up here. It says Eisenhower. I've got an Eisenhower right here. And again, another 1971. You've got an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch. And, there's the Earth in the background there. How cool is that? Old Eisenhower. A lot of people are saying this is a very underrated coin here, and including one of my favorite numismatists. His name is Matt Dinger, and he has a podcast with another friend of mine named Spicy Mike. And when I was at his coin shop recently interviewing him, he, when asked, hey, give me some sleeper coins that are undervalued right now, he named the Eisenhower as one that gets often ignored by people, but has the potential to be a pretty darn cool collectible coin in the future. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, the old Susan B. Anthony, 1979. Not sure why I put this in a flip back in the day. I probably did that way back when I was a kid. And let's take her out of there and let's put her right there. I remember when these first came out, and you got to be careful not to damage her with those staples. I remember when these first came out, it was a pretty big topic of conversation, and a very cool reverse, as you can see there, just like that Ike we just talked about. And the obverse, I remember people joking that it wasn't a very attractive coin back in the day. Let's take a look at this old Benji here, a Benjamin Franklin, 1948, the old Liberty Bell there. And, by law, the coinage has to have an eagle on it. They stuck a tiny little eagle on the side. The main emphasis here is that Liberty Bell, which I am very proud to say, as a proud American, I had the opportunity to see one day when I was in Philadelphia. Okay, let's hold off on these here. Let's move this whole setup over here. And it looks like we've got this page that my birth year set. My birth year is 1971. We'll get to that in just a little while. Let me move over this way, and we'll concentrate on this page right here. All right, let's see. Let's go from big to small. There you've got the Standing Liberty, 1926. And I just love that eagle. I can see why so many of the silver round companies have copied that eagle, that flying eagle there. Where does she go? Let's see, in the quarter, Standing Liberty, right there. All right, there's my example. Another example of wanting to see the reverse on these coins. Okay, now this one maybe I will put gloves on. You know, I need an example of a Jefferson nickel, and why not use a proof? I don't know where I picked this up and no markings on it. And so, yeah, why not? I will put some gloves on and we'll put that guy in there. Okay. Again, trying to be careful not to ruin it with the staples, and not always an easy task when you're messing with gloves. Ay, ay, ay. Come on, guy. Here we go. All right, there's Jefferson in that slot right there. Let's take a look at this little dime, 1953. So we're looking for Roosevelt silver. That qualifies right there. There's a little Rosie. And, oh, here's a quarter here. 1943 Washington silver quarter. Goes right there. And then my favorite, the old Mercury dime. Let's see, Mercury goes right there. Let's see what we have here. This is a 1987 Roosevelt clad dime, nothing special. Put it right there. Fill that hole. Oh, we need to finish those nickels there with the Jefferson wartime and 1942. That qualifies. I know some people collect those. What are they, like 35% silver, something like that? I personally don't, just because they, you know, they take up a lot of space for 35%, and they always look old and got that dingy look to them. And, you know, even for the silver content, there are other things I would prefer to stack. Okay, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Looks like I'm going to be short some coins here. What do we have here? This looks like a crusty old barber dime that goes right there. So, let's see what we got. There we go. And yeah, that's about as beat up as you can get, but it fills the hole. Okay, on to the cents. Oh, there's the old steel cent, 1943. I'd love to find a 1943 that was copper, that's for sure. And then what do we have here? An old wheat penny, 1939. So that would go right here, and that spot up there. I did have to go rummage through my change in my truck just to see if I could find a couple of quarters to fill these holes, and I did. 50 state commemorative. The state I found was Mississippi. I'll just toss Mississippi in there until I can find an Indiana. Put that one in there. And in this one, Washington clad. This is a Washington clad quarter, of course, but I kind of like this one because it reminds me of a particular year that, well, maybe we'd all like to forget about it, but 2020 with the bat coin, remember that one? That one will go right in there. Unfortunately, I didn't find a bicentennial, and I'm still looking for a barber quarter. Oh, Lincoln Memorial, that any old Lincoln set, I guess, pre-1980. Well, there's a 1980 right there. Pre-1982, this is the one with the Lincoln Memorial, which happens to be my favorite memorial in Washington, D.C. And then, if I remember correctly, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, after 82, or maybe halfway through 82, at some point in 82, that date sticks out in my mind, they switched from copper to the copper zinc, and so any old penny will do. There's a 1990, pretty good shape for 1990. All right, there you go. Now, so I've got it all pretty much filled out except for a barber quarter. Couldn't believe I couldn't find one of those. Maybe I just didn't look hard enough. And then a 1976 quarter. That should be easy enough to find. But then comes my birth year typeset. I've got something special planned for that. Stick with me to find out. Okay guys, brought the album to my little work area over here. You know I need to fill up my birth year typeset. And here we go. Here is my birth year typeset. Boom, right there, 1971. Look at those proof beauties. But the question is, how am I going to get them into there? Well, there's only one way that I can think of. Here we go. And hey, well, some of you may be clutching your chest right now.
Oh! I think I'm having a heart attack.
Let me let you know that these little sets right here can be found on eBay for like $7 or $8. So this isn't like a $100 set or anything like that. And let me see if I can get this out of here without scratching these coins up. I've never done this before. There we go. Well, that wasn't hard at all. Okay, let's finish up this album here by putting these coins right in these holes. And let's start. Wow, look at that. How beautiful. 1971, year of my birth. There we go. First Catholic president in the United States of America, John F. Kennedy. Then, let's see. Our greatest president, George Washington. I've had the pleasure of visiting Mount Vernon. I even shot a video there. And old Mr. Lincoln, another one of our greatest presidents. Jefferson, I've visited his memorial as well. And then finally, the dime. There we go. Mr. Roosevelt, 1971. All right, guys, that concludes our 20th century U.S. type coins album. With the exception of a couple that I'll fill in later, but you get the point. It's a fun and enjoyable thing to do, filling up one of these albums. I hope I didn't give any of you a heart attack in the process, but hey, I have more coin collecting videos, many of which I shot with real numismatists, experts in the coin field. Check out these videos I have selected for you here for more. I think you'll really enjoy them. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. See you.